Dr. T.C. Tansha. She's a chairperson, Women's Cell and ICC Cell, VTU, and also a chairperson of Electronics and Communication Department, VTU Belgavi. With our due respects to Honorable Vice Chancellor, Registrar, Evaluation and Finance Officer, who has supported us to organize this program, and all the regional directors and special officers and other people, I take this opportunity to welcome Dr. T.C. Tanisha to this program, and I request Dr. Tanisha ma'am to give the welcome address. Over to you, madam.
Yeah, thank you, Pankaja. Ellarigu namaskara. After becoming the 15th Prime Minister of India, our Honorable Mr. PM, Mr. Narendra Modi, on 25th September 2014, in Vigyan Bhavan, New Delhi, had chanted the economic mantra, that's a Make in India, and unveiled the Make in India initiative aiming to project India as a manufacturing hub which will fuel the India's economic growth. As per the survey, only 20% of the workforce receives formal training to acquire the skill requirement, but out of the actual industrial training requirement of 22 million workforces, only 4.3 million of workforces are actually getting formal training. There is a huge skill gap in India, so for successful implementation of Make in India initiative, it is important to implement various skill development initiatives to boil down the skill gap between the available skills and the desired skills. As per the recent statistics, 32% of the women are getting technical education. Gender advancement for transforming institution, that's a GATI, is a new initiative of the central government under DST, under the Sustainable Development number 5, which proposes a charter in every university aiming to increase the participation of women in science and technology.
Thank you, Dr. Pankajakshi. Good afternoon to all. It is my immense pleasure to introduce today's resource person, Dr. Vinay Matthew. Dr. Vinay Matthew is an associate professor in Department of Management Studies, VTU, and presently heading Centralized Placement Cell of Visheshwara Technological University, Belagavi. He is taking care of placements and career guidance of the students of VTU PG Center and affiliated engineering colleges of VTU in the state of Karnataka, extending a helping hand to thousands of students to find their dream job. He has 5 years of industry experience, 19 years of postgraduate teaching experience, and 19 years of research experience. He was employee trainer to HAL Management Academy and Bosch India Limited. He has given guest lectures to many B schools and resource persons to a number of national and international seminars. Authored 6 books and several research articles published in both national and international journals. His educational achievements are MCom in Finance, MBA in HRM, LLB, PGDCA, CELI, DPC, CPTP, DLET, PhD, Six Sigma in Yellow Belt. In addition to the above, he has done certificate examinations on gender justice and workplace security, corporate social responsibility, commodity derivatives, risk management, globalization and culture, intellectual property rights, competition law, and he also has certification from IIT Kharagpur. He is a certified counselor and psychometric analyst. He is recipient of many awards for his contribution in teaching, counseling, and research. Dr. Benai is currently serving on editorial board of international journals and member of steering committees of international conferences recognized by reputed organizations and societies. Now I request Dr. Vinay Matthew to take over the session.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, hello, namaskara. At the very outset, I would like to express my sincere thanks and regards to Honorable Vice Chancellor VTU Dr. Karisiddappa sir, Registrar Dr. Anand Deshpande, Registrar thanks and regards to Chairperson of this Women's Cell, Dr. Khema Patel, Women's Cell member, Dr. Shantha, member Women's Cell, Dr. Pankaja, coordinator of this today's workshop, and of course, Mr. Kirtan. Thanks to you all, and my advance thanks to all the participants for making your time and attending this program. And of course, my greetings to all the principals and faculty members of affiliated colleges as well as the VTU PG Center, my colleagues to also. Before entering into the topic, I would like to set the context. I would like to present it like this. For the last so many years, especially for the last 2 years, I've given talks to many students on the topic industry expectations from young engineers. I think many talks I have given, and I got an opportunity to interact with many students while talking about this specific topic. And when Pankaja Madam asked me to take a session, especially on this particular title, Employability Skills for Women, especially in the changing environment, I said, I better take something different, because I felt that talking much about what the industry is expecting is not getting benefit, because since I am in the placement team, what I have observed is, in spite of doing all these, I'm sure most of the colleges, they have their own system of giving training to the students. They hire trainers and give extensive training to the students. But when it comes to job interview, the conversion is between 10 to 20. That is the conversion. Some of the companies, it is less than 10%. If 100 students appear for the test, only 10 students get through, get the job. So this is the trend what I have observed. So in spite of doing all this training, all this information, what the industry is expecting, still the employability skills, there's somewhere the students are lacking the employability skills. So that is the reason why I have chosen this particular topic, that is live life to the fullest. We faculties, and of course, there is no doubt about the students, we human beings in general, very often fail to live our life to the fullest. I believe if we are able to live our life to the fullest, then most of the problems in our life will get disappeared. So that is the reason why I thought of talking maybe about 40-45 minutes about this. It is a fact that when we see others, we feel that they all are happy and enjoying life, they are successful in life, but we are not, or I am not successful, I am not happy. And very often the students complain that I am trying my level best to do well, but still I am not able to be successful. I used to ask to the students that what you mean by success. Certainly we get many definitions from the students, and if you ask each other, I'm sure we get a lot of definitions about what is success. I would like to put it in this way. Success is all about how fast we are able to bounce back from failure. That is what is called success. And whatever way we define is not success. Unless otherwise we are ready to accept our failures, we will not be able to enjoy success. As and when we fail, we collapse. And we won't be able to go to do any further. And we know that fail is the first attempt in learning. Or as Albert Einstein mentioned, success is failure in progress. So this is what we should, especially our children, should understand. Success is failure in progress. If this failure is not progressing, then we won't be able to achieve success, and thereby we won't be able to enjoy our life to the fullest. So today we will discuss some of the important points to understand how to become successful in your life or in our life. So let me share my screen. Is it visible?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So,
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, I would like to start with quoting Benjamin Bloom, what he has mentioned about the purpose of education. Especially this is a note for the students who are participating. First, you should understand. You may be thinking that you are doing PG education and now talking about purpose of education. There is no wonder. Still, there is time, and you should start with that. So the purpose of education, as according to Benjamin Bloom, is to change the thoughts, feelings, and actions of students. This is what I want to tell you. Today is the day for all of us, including me. Though I talk about enjoying life, including me, today is the day at least for us to change our thoughts. Most of the problems arise from our ego. It is time for us to keep our ego in the refrigerator at least for some time. So it is about changing our thoughts. We have so many feelings. He is like that, she is like that. I won't be able to be successful. I won't be able to do this. If at all I do this, I don't think I will be successful. All these kind of negativisms and egos are suppressing our life. So the purpose of education, the purpose of attending this workshop should be to change the thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. Having thoughts and feelings is not enough. Understanding is not enough. That is what is happening, especially in the student life. They understand, as and when we listen to a talk, we listen to the talk of great motivators, religious leaders, Swamijis, etc., etc. We understand, but after that, there is no action from our side. So, if you understand the purpose of education and do accordingly, you will be successful. And specifically about employability, you will definitely get a job. I have mentioned here about what Zero Being has mentioned about live life to the fullest. You can read it, it is very interesting. To live life to the fullest means facing your fears with bravery. This is lesson number 1. When we face challenges, when we are scared, when we are not confident about something in our life, then we won't be able to go further. If you want to enjoy life, whatever fears, challenges comes in front of us, we should be in a position to overcome it, face it with bravery. We should have an open mind. Unless otherwise we keep open our mind, we won't be able to find out the problems within us. Unless otherwise we are able to find out the problems within us, then we won't be able to be successful. And a lack of prejudice. When somebody says something, then everything we approach, some people are there. Most prejudiced people. That means whatever they hear, whenever they interact with others, they will have a doubt about it. And sometimes people say that, nothing in this world is correct. Everything is in the wrong place. We cannot believe anybody. People used to mention. I used to say that there are some people who will never succeed. I'm not talking about you, but just for your understanding. There are some people, whatever they do, they will not be successful. What is the reason for that? Especially students in their academic life, they very often say that I will do it tomorrow. You always notice, you will notice some people, they always say that today I'm busy, I will do it tomorrow. And that tomorrow will never come. So the people who often think that, if you are a person who often think that when you are supposed to do a particular job today, if you think that I will do it tomorrow, then success is difficult. You need to change your mindset. Then there are another category of people. They used to say that I don't have time. I'm busy. I have this. Especially women, working women, they say that I have office work, and before that I have to finish my domestic work, this work, that work, and after reaching home also I have to take care of the education of the children, and so many things. I don't have time to do this. I want to study, I want to do research, but I don't have time. If you are a person who often says that I don't have time, then it is difficult to be successful. Then the third category of people, they say that this is your problem. Husband will say that to wife that this is your problem. It is only because of you this happened. Children are not studying and they are not obeying. It is only because of your teaching. You only taught them, and it is your problem. If anybody often say that it is your problem, that means that person is not ready to accept their mistakes, and that person will never develop, because they are not finding they are not finding any problem with them. They always find problem with others. Then another category of people are there. They say, we also know, at least occasionally, we also use this. I am unlucky. I am unlucky. I'm not lucky. That is why it happened. This loss happened. This failure happened. Like that, we say. But what is actually luck? Luck is preparation meets the opportunity. That is what is called luck. Then there are people who always say, in between whatever they say, they use the word but, B-U-T, but. I want to do this, but. So if you are a person who often uses the word but, then you have to overcome that. Then, like that, people say that my time is not good. That is why all this happened. Then some people, say that we cannot believe anybody in this world. We cannot believe anybody is in this world. Then some people say that we cannot make money in straight way. And very often some people say that this world will never change. If a person often says this kind of things, that means it will be difficult for them to be successful. So these are the most of what you have. Making the most of what you have. We have so much of potentials. God has given enough and more potentials to everyone. There is no need to differentiate between men and women, because God has given enough potential to both men and women. In no way women are inferior to men. Only thing is, we should be able to make use of the opportunities available to us. So making the most of what you have and never settling for less than the life you are capable of living. It means being truly alive and awake to life and not asleep in life's waiting room. So in short, the problem what we are facing is most of us are sleeping in the life's waiting room. I think I am running out of time, so that's why, what are the things? I just wanted to highlight some of the important points which make you enjoy your life to the fullest. The first thing what I would like to highlight here is about decide what is important for you now. Especially for, let me focus more on the students, especially for the students. Definitely, for each one of us, of course, our parents will have some expectations from us. Family, friends, everybody may have some expectations from us. But ultimately, it is me and you going to face our life and enjoy or lead our life. So that is why, see, whatever the others think about us, doesn't matter. Each one of us should decide what is important for me now at present. During education time, you should decide what is important for you at the moment. So accordingly, you should decide. So it's a fact that mind is very tricky. That is why people land up in many problems because of the trickiness of mind. When you are interested in something, you do it when you like. When you are committed to something, you will do it you like or dislike. It's a fact in our life. So what is required is a kind sort of commitment. If you have a sort of commitment, then you will do it whether you like it to do it or not. So once you decide what is important for you, then what is important automatically, what is important, you should have the commitment to do it. So you will do it whether you like it or not. If you decide that I want to study well, I should get a good job, then what you should do, what is happening is, the children, they set alarm in the mobile phone or timepiece, they set alarm and they decide, I want to get up early morning, 4 o'clock, and I will study. Night, before sleeping, they decide. Then what happens? 4 o'clock itself, the technology is intact. 4 o'clock itself, the alarm will ring, and what the children think? Oh, I'm very sleepy. The climate is very good. Let me sleep for another five minutes. Then 5 minutes will go. 15 minutes will go, and after half an hour, maybe 4:30, suddenly you get up and see, looking at the clock. Oh my God! It is 4:30. I wanted to start my studies at 4 o'clock, but it is 4:30. No. Today evening, after coming back from the college, I will start my studies. By sharp 7 o'clock, I will start. Then you know. No? So that is because of not having commitment. So if you have commitment to do something, you will do it whether you like it or not. So my dear audience, my advice to you is, if you want to enjoy your life to the fullest, decide what is important. In general, our mindset is we are not ready to take risk in general. But remember, every reward carries risk with it. If you want success, along with the success, risk also is there. Unless otherwise you find solution for the risk or anticipate the risk and avoid the risk, you won't be able to enjoy your success. So every reward, every benefit, every success carries a risk with it. If you never take risk, you will never get anywhere in life. This is the fact. We, including me, we often complain that, I'm not successful. I did this thing, I did so much, but I'm not able to enjoy my family life. What is the reason? I myself is the reason, not anybody else. So unless otherwise you take risk, you will never get anywhere in life, and you certainly would not learn how to live life to the fullest. So if you want to live life to the fullest, please remember that you should be able to express your love to the people you care about. When I talk about this expressing love, I used to mention an interesting example which I have seen. I've seen one boy and girl who were sitting up on each other. There was a fast food counter, and their two stools were there, and opposite this boy and girl was sitting, and this boy was holding in his hand a plate of gobi manchuri, and with this toothpick sticking and giving to the mouth of this girl. Beautiful scene. And after some time, what I have noticed is This girl is showing the gesture that because in her mouth gobi manchuri is there, and it is hot also. So she is showing the signal that I am full, I am enough, I don't want any more. But this boy is not allowing her. Still, this boy is keep on feeding this girl, and this boy is forcing the girl to eat. Beautiful scene. So what was going on in my mind, through my mind, is it's a good thing. There is absolutely no problem. Boy is feeding girl. There is nothing wrong in it. Okay, but the question to you all is, I used to ask, when I directly interacted with the students, I used to ask the children this question. For the last 10 years, how many times you feeded your father or mother, at least when they were sick? Virtually, I have seen children cry. I'm asking this question to each one of you. The last 10 years, how many times did you feed your father, your mother, at least whenever they were sick? That is what I meant to say here. Express your love to the people you care about. Especially when it comes to family life, most of the husbands say this, I love you so much, but I don't know how to express it. If you have ideas, if you have so much of ideas, or if you have money, if you have everything with you, unless otherwise you use it, what is the use? Imagine you have a very good idea. So say for example now, Facebook is famous or Google is famous. Somebody had idea to start Facebook or Google, but they didn't do anything on it. What is the use of keeping the idea? What is the use of keeping the money with you unless otherwise you use it? Same is the case with the love. There is no point in saying that I love, but I don't express. Express your love to the people you care about. Then you will be able to enjoy your life. That enjoyment is something which cannot be expressed here. Live in the present and not in past or future. Live in the present, not in past or in future. We often live in the future, especially the children. They always live in the future because Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, the then president of India, he used to express whenever he interacted with the students. He used to say that the mantra of success is dream, dream, dream. You should dream. You should have a dream. Then you will be successful. So that is the reason why we always live in the future. We have dreams. I want to become this. I want to do this. I want to achieve this. And but still we don't reach anywhere. What is the reason? That is why I used to tell to the students that if you have a dream, fine, well enough. We all have dreams. It's good enough, good. But what is more important to achieve dream, whether dream is important or the direction in which you walk is important. So we can call dream as our destination. I want to achieve this. So dream is our destination. Destination, whether you are able to reach your destination at ease or not, depends on the direction in which you travel. That is why you used to give the example of Google Map. If you type a destination in Google Maps, sometimes the map will show you 2-3 different routes, and the map will take you, sometimes may take you in the longest route, because if you take the shortest route, the traffic jam is more, so you won't be able to reach easily. So that is the reason why the longest route it may show. So here, my dear, today in this example, whether direction is important or destination is important. Direction is important. So having a dream is good, well enough, but the direction in which you travel to achieve the dream is more important than the dream. If the direction is correct, then definitely you will achieve your dreams. So past is important, of course, past is important to learn about. Past should be used to learn about our mistakes and where we went wrong, and maybe the areas where we were successful, and learning about it, and we can find different ways to improve it. So in that respect, past is important. We cannot reverse the past, or we cannot change the past. So that is why past should be seen in that way. We sometimes say that, I cannot forget this. He did this to me. And even after my death also, I won't forget. What nonsense it is. What foolishness it is. Because past is past, and don't live in the past. Past should be used to learn from. Future is important. Future is important to work towards. That's all. It is important to work towards. But what is important in our life is present. Today is important in our life. So that is why what we can do is we should be able to practice mindfulness. I think you are aware of what is mindfulness. Mindfulness involves learning to live in the moment. Learning to live in the moment by noticing what is around you and how you are feeling and why you are feeling so. That is what is called mindfulness. Practice mindfulness. Live in the present moment. Ignore the people who hate you. That is what I said just now. I mentioned that we sometimes say that I will not forget this. He did this to me, and so and so. If you want to enjoy your life, ignore the people who hate you. Every winner loses, but not every loser wins. Remember this. Every winner loses. If you fail, if you are able to get out of the failure quickly, that is what is called success. I already mentioned. So, failure itself is not the end. I have so many examples coming into my mind. I have counseled one parent. The incident is their only child, son, committed suicide. Maybe I think after 25 days of his death, I visited the house and spoke to the parents. His father said, I cannot understand. On that worst day, my wife scolded him. A very silly reason. She said no to him. He never said no to him for anything. And in his life, he never failed. He was a success. All through his life, he was doing final chartered accountancy, CA. Even inter also, he performed very well. But he was about to write the exam. For a simple reason, he jumped in front of a train and committed suicide. And he started blaming his wife, only child. Then when I probed further into their life and his history, then I came to know that this in the lifetime of the child, they accepted whatever failure happened in his life. The parents took the blame, and it is not because of you. It is because of me. It is because of somebody else, like that. Excuses they gave, and then he never felt failure. And then further, in short, what has really happened is, when I inquired, then he took one diary which he was writing. After his death only he has seen this diary. In that diary he has clearly written that in the CA final exam, I will be one among the 3 in All India ranking. And further, every day he used to write, I'll be the first. And on the final day, final page, he has written that if I am not there in the list of these three, then I will not be there in this world. So what is the fault? Where it went wrong? That we should understand. And I used to tell this to the people, especially to the children, that you don't have any right on your body, to your life, to spoil it. You don't have any right. You have the duty to foster it. I used to tell this example. Let me tell this example to all of you, that if you get a job and from that salary, if you buy a crystal glass, that glass can be used for any purpose, whatever you want. You can drink tea, coffee, water, juice, or if you doesn't want that glass, if you don't like that glass, you can throw and break it, because it is bought by you. You are the owner. What about your life? Are you the owner of your life? So my sincere advice to you all is, whatever be the problems, you don't have the right to destroy your life. But you have the duty to foster it. So please understand that every winner loses, but not every loser wins. Unless otherwise the loser realizes the reason for it. People who are successful keep pushing through failure. So if you want to be successful, if you want to be employable, if you want to enjoy your life, you should push through the failures. Do not compromise values you follow. At times we compromise our value system. Do not compromise values you follow. Do trust your instinct. Sometimes we feel that no, this is good, but we don't do that. We don't do that. See, when we are waiting for a bus, when the first bus comes, a bit rushes. Then instinct says sometimes that next bus maybe there may be delay. I want to reach the destination within this time. So if I catch this bus, I will be able to reach in time. That instinct says. But looking at the bus, so many people are there, rush is there, so it is not safe, and I'll wait for the next bus, and the next bus will never come. So do trust your instinct. If something does not feel right, do not do it. Maybe afterwards you may feel that, oh, that I would have done that. Don't regret for that. Okay, if your instinct says that you should not do this, don't do it. Be always kind to others. At least if you are not able to help others financially, at least keep a smile, so that will give some relief to others, and you will get some relief within you. So be always kind to others. Keep your mind open. You may be right, but there can be other ways to look at it. Once we are successful, okay, that is done. And if you keep on doing the same thing without opening your mind and thinking about it, that may be wrong in your life. Why? Because there can be better ways to perform a particular task. Take actions for what matters to you. Don't interfere into others' life unnecessarily. Don't interfere into others' life unnecessarily. You should decide, you should think whether it matters to you or not. If it matters to you, then take action. Otherwise, don't involve in others' life. You may have ideas, but it is useless unless you act on them. Whatever ideas you have, express it and push on. Preparation meets the opportunity that is called luck, that I already mentioned. So don't try to keep your ideas. Express your ideas and push on. The comfort zone. I would like to, I will take another 5 minutes to explain this. We all prefer to be in the comfort zone. Unless otherwise we get out of the comfort zone, then we will not be able to learn anything. If you don't learn anything, you won't be able to reach to the growth zone. So the first here is mentioned is the comfort zone. In the comfort zone, we feel safe and in control, especially children when they are in the control of the parents, they feel comfortable with the parents. So we all have comfort zones in our life, and we don't want to get out of the comfort zones. So we always want to be within the comfort zone. If you are why we always want to be in comfort zone. Once we are out of comfort zone to learn something, we may face the fear zone. In the fear zone, fear zone here means lack of confidence. If you have joined for engineering a particular branch, you have say mechanical engineering, and people say that mechanical, civil, no opportunities are not there. Not like that. There are opportunities if you have the capability. So if you once you join for a particular course, or if you join for doing something, and if you don't have the confidence, that is what is called fear zone. Then in the fear zone, you find excuses. I used to tell to the students that all excuses are lies. We give in our life enough and more excuses we give. And all these excuses, why we are giving all these excuses to be away from our mistakes. We don't want to project our mistakes. So please remember this. All excuses are lies. There is no truth in it. Be affected by others' opinions. In the fear zone, we get affected by other opinions. Your peer pressure, the so-called peer pressure. They may say that there are no opportunities. You have to do this, you have to do that, then only you will get opportunities. And many things people may say. So you should not get affected by others' opinion. If you have your own opinion, and whatever be the consequences, if you feel it right, go ahead with that. So once you are able to cross fear zone, you will reach to the learning zone, and the learning zone, you will be able to deal with challenges and problems. You will be able to acquire new skills, extend your comfort zone. So this is what you are expected to do, especially the students are expected to do now if you want to enhance your employability skills. Deal with challenges and problems. You may have so many problems. Students in their student life, they come up with so many problems. I landed up in a wrong college. That teacher is not good. This teacher is not good. All these are bullshit. All these are simple lies. So don't go with such kind of excuses. What you are, where you are, understand the situation, and if you need to put more effort, and go ahead. So in the learning zone, you'll be able to acquire new skills, you'll be able to extend your comfort zone. So then you will reach to the growth zone, where you will find purpose in life. So once you reach a growth zone, you will find purpose in life. You will have life dreams. It is not just dreams about the future, what is going to happen, but you will have life dreams. You'll be able to set new goals, and you will be able to conquer the objectives. Convert hard times into opportunities, and always remember hard times do come. And when challenges comes in our life, then we will understand our potential. So please understand that when difficulties arises in our life, please understand that, please tell to yourself that this is not the worst thing that can happen in my life. This is not the one, if you are not feeling well, if you have some illness, if you have some problems, always think that, tell to your mind that this is not the worst thing that can happen in my life. So rise above the challenges, and as eagle flies, you'll be able to fly above the clouds. So that is what is required. Then instead of feeling bad, being confused, what we should do is we should be strong enough, braver, and more creative and loving. We should be able to think differently. Think differently. Today is the day for you to think differently. Throw away the feeling of I am worthless. I am from rural background. My parents are farmers. We don't have enough money. All these excuses, give away. Whatever be your background, success, you will be able to achieve success. when we ask the students, why you should improve your communication skill. If you want to get a good job, improve your communication skill. They say that I'm from rural background. Till 10th or PUC, I studied in Kannada background school. But that is not that is not an obstacle, and that excuse won't help you. You have to come out of it. For that, first of all, that is the reason why I mentioned in the beginning that you keep your ego in refrigerator. Don't carry your ego with you. Okay, so what I was trying to say is improve your communication skill. For that, what you should do, simple thing, what you should do is subscribe on English newspaper. Read English newspaper, at least one English newspaper daily. Okay, I'm giving you this challenge. I used to ask, that is why I know the statistics. When I ask the students, how many of you have the habit of reading at least one English newspaper daily? Very few. Some of the cases, nobody is there. That is the trend. And how can you improve your communication skill? So I'm giving you an offer today. Subscribe one English newspaper for 1 month. Okay, buy that, read that. 1 month you read. If you're not getting any benefit, sell that as scrap, and you will get almost 50% of the money what you have spent. You will get, and now balance 50%. If you didn't get any benefit, balance 50%. I will pay you. You can call me at any time. Throw away the feeling of I am worthless. Instead of being your enemy, be your friend. How can you be strong and creative if you keep complaining about your life? Enjoy all periods. We always count our losses, but we don't start counting our blessings. Start counting our blessings. We get to know our strength. I'm getting calls. I think time up. I will finish in 2 minutes. We get to know our strength as well as our weaknesses in hard times. Knowing our weaknesses itself is our strength. Life has already given solutions to all our problems. Understand that it is our desire and ego that is projecting our difficulties. And finally, winners don't do different things, they do things differently. Quoting from Shiv Khera's best-selling book, You Can Win. So you can win, only thing is you should think differently. And today is the day for you to think differently. Then you will start enjoying your life. As Socrates mentioned, there's a beautiful story here. I don't have time to mention the story. If you know, at one of the disciples, young boy, asked Socrates, what is success looks like? What I should do to become successful? And it says, Socrates took the boy to the sea and pushed his head down to the water, and when the boy became clean, then Socrates pulled him out. And the same thing he repeated for 3 times. He asked him to come next month, etc., etc. So finally, the message is, Socrates said, if you want to be successful, you should have a burning desire. So tell your heart that the fear of suffering is worse than the suffering itself. We have pain because we are scared about the future. We are scared about the fear of suffering. So the fear of suffering itself is, much worse than the actual suffering. The actual suffering may be much lighter. You must have experienced in your life, and that no heart has ever suffered when it goes in search of its dream, because every second of the search is a second's encounter with God and with eternity. Thank you all. May God bless you all. Thanks to all of you. Thanks to the organizers, thanks to the authorities of Vishweshwar Technological University. Yes, over to you, Pankaja Madam.
Thank you, Binoy sir, for sharing your certain views and experience about live life to the fullest. As you've told, along with success, the failure has to be taken as a pinch of a salt thing. So it is like a piece of a coin. Success and failure goes hand in hand. And to understand how to be successful in life, one have to, it is not just the hard skill or the soft skill. As a person, you should know how to manage, and discipline is very, very much required in your life. and lots of things, changing the mindset with positive thoughts, and success doesn't come with postponement. As students, you know that yes, as a elderly person, we also most of the time our alarm gets snoozed 5 minutes, and later we start running things. At times that can lead to an accident also unexpectedly, but we have to be a bit cautious. Thank you, sir, for sharing your views about live life to the fullest. And so a couple of our participants were keen to see what was there in your presentation. Hope you'll be sharing your presentation later to us so that we could email to all the participants.
Sure.
We will send it across to them later, sir.
Yeah.
And thank you once again, sir. Now we have this, our next speaker and invited guest for today's webinar. Hello, am I connected, please? Can you hear me?
Yeah, ma'am.
Miss Anjana Madam, Head Talent Acquisition for BFSI, TCS. May I invite Miss Emma Patil, Associate Professor from MBA Department, VTU, Mysore, to introduce the speaker to the audience and the participant. Over to you, Miss Emma Patil, Dr. Emma Patil.
Thank you, Dr. Pankajakshi. As we have with us another resource person, Mrs. Anjana Kyar. Mrs. Anjana Kyar is a General Manager, Human Resource in Tata Consultancy Services and currently heading Talent Acquisition of BFSI TCS. She has over 22 plus years of experience in human resources. Anjana has worked extensively in talent management, talent development, talent engagement, HR process and design consulting in various leadership and consultant roles. Her earlier roles in TCS included Head of Learning and Development TCS Bangalore, Head of HR Strategy and Operations for Business Unit globally, Subject Matter Expert and Functional Consultant as part of Process Consulting, Regional HR Head USA, HR Expert and Process Consultant, Deputy Head Learning and Development for USA and Canada, etc. A graduate in law and a postgraduate in personal management and industrial relations, Anjana is certified as Global Professional in Human Resources. She is member of Board of Advanced Studies and Wellinger Institute of Management and is Advisor IT to Bangalore Chamber of Commerce. Ma'am, I welcome you to this program, and now I request Mrs. Anjana Kyar to take over the session.
Can you hear me?
Yes, madam, we can hear you.
Yes, madam.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hemapal, for that introduction. And I just before I start, can I request Dr. Pankajakshi if you can help present the PPT while I just give the introductory remarks. Is it possible for you? We are not able to hear you.
Yes, madam. I'll share the presentation now.
Oh, thank you very much. So that I'm able to concentrate on both. First of all, I would like to thank you, Dr. Pankajakshi, for relentlessly pursuing and getting me on this particular event. And Dr. Binoy Matthew, my good friend, thank you for all the sharing till now, because I think whatever Dr. Binoy Matthew has told till now, it's from life experiences, and I am very certain that all of you who are hearing this will have benefited so much. And even if you are able to implement 5 to 10% of what Dr. Binoy Matthew just outlined, it will change your life forever. So I am certain that with this kind of guidance, all the students are very fortunate to this. To be part of such events which are being very diligently being done by the management. My sincere thanks to the registrar, the heads of departments, whoever who is part of this particular event, all the students, all the members from the industry, and everyone, whoever is part of this event on a Friday afternoon. I know Friday afternoons are usually for at least winding down, but having found time to go ahead and be part of such an event itself is definitely paving way for some positive I wouldn't say change, positive progress in your lives. So it's very, very crucial to understand the intent with which all these programs are being held. Now, before the presentation comes up, I'll set a context. I am Anjana, and I've been with TCS alone for the last 22 years. Some people may ask as to why I'm only in one company. I would attribute it to the multitude of opportunities, both from learning and from performing perspectives that I have been able to give to the company, as well as all the learning that I achieved. I would attribute it to that. My lengthy journey in TCS, I would attribute it. Still, I would still consider myself as a student, and that's why whenever I get a chance like this, I also go ahead and join all of you, because it makes me feel younger. It makes me feel as if I'm part of all of you trying to learn something new. So each session is a learning experience for me too. And though the context is women's empowerment, I would suggest that we also, while we discuss, it would be a good idea to consider this for everyone, right? So when we're talking about opportunities, let us also look at the opportunities for women and men together, right? Because the society is made up of both women and men, and together is where the enablement happens, and then we move forward together, right? So I have the option of presenting, but I'm just thinking whether I'll be able to take it if I look at it. I think Dr. Pankajakshi is finding it a little difficult. Let me just see. Okay. Can you all see this? Can you see the slide?
Yes, ma'am. I had little network issue in sharing the screen. That was very kind of you. Thank you, madam.
No, I could see that you were trying. But thank you very much for trying. I thought I was not able to, but I'm luckily able to. I just gave it a try and able to. Thank you, Dr. Pankajakshi. So I'll just go ahead, okay? All right. Can I proceed, Dr. Pankajakshi?
Yes, ma'am. Your screen is visible, ma'am. Please proceed, madam.
Okay. Now, Dr. Binoy Matthews actually mentioned about what all kind of roles each one plays, right? And I did set up a context in saying that, I'll even though there are some references to women, I think everyone who's present on the call today will, if you're able to reflect upon what's being shared, I think you would be able to look at it from a progressive point of view, right? As an individual. So when I have joined 22 years back, I joined as a specialist, moved on to being a generalist. Then I was, handling a region. Then I was handling, I was in various leadership roles. Went to US for some time. Handled some 4 portfolios, very key portfolios, at the same time, which I really did not know that I was capable of doing. But just like Dr. Binoy said, when you're thrown into adversities, you tend to start adjusting to it and also probably thriving in it, right? So how do you change your adversity into an opportunity? That's exactly what I have encountered, and that is what I have been through, okay? And after which I came back to India, I was handling one of the business unit HR roles, after which I moved on to handling learning and development, and for the past 6.5 years, I'm into talent acquisition. So, which is probably one of the reasons why I was being invited, because talent acquisition talks about the most, talked about function in any company at this point in time. Forget the pandemic. Nobody really wants to think about what pandemic is happening. Yes, pandemic is real. We are losing lives. Everything is real, but life goes on. Business is more than as usual. We are aggressive, we are very competitive, and that goes on, right? So this is across the industry. And if you really look at it, one individual plays multiple roles, right? I can be a student, a collaborator, a leader, a networker, advisor, a homemaker, a team player, a strategist, a human resource professional, a technology expert, right? All of this. And I don't think I'm just talking about myself here. I'm talking about all of you who are listening to me. You will understand that every single person is playing multiple roles, as against an earlier system where the man of the house goes out and does the work, buys the vegetables, comes home, and the lady of the house cooks meals, takes care of the children and the household activities. Now that's not the case. There is a lot of division of work. There is a lot of understanding amongst the couples. There is a lot of understanding even amongst the children. There's a lot of load sharing in terms of how the work gets done at home as well as in office, right? Because even office, I don't think we are oblivious to the fact that a lot of things are happening at home too. Especially take the scenario of the virtual world that we are in. Little did we know, 1 year back, did we even think that we will be in such a situation come March 21st and we were in lockdown, and I suddenly found myself in a very, very different situation that I've ever before. I've never had to really worry about, ever since I've been working, I never really have to worry about cleaning up the house, or because I always had help, right? But with the lockdown, with all the restrictions that were entrusted on us, we were not able to really take forward all of those help, right? So you ended up being the mother, you ended up being the daughter-in-law, the wife, the daughter, right? So as Indra Nooyi, who was the chairperson for PepsiCo, very famously said, I rely on the 3 M's to carry on with my life, which is my mother, my mother-in-law, and my maid. It's just like that. That was the life for us before pandemic, but after pandemic, that's not the case. So how do you really balance it out? Now, how do you bring in the focus for all of it, right? And what do you call by, what do you mention, what do you remember when you say empowerment? Empowerment is really, according to me, very simplistically said, really feeling that I can do it. And if I really want to do it, how can I do it? And when I know how can I do it, will I go ahead and do it, right? As simple as that. So that is feeling empowered, okay? It can be a very big word, but simply said, do I have the capacity to do it? And if I have the capacity to do it, will I do it? And when I decide that I will do it, will I completely do it, right? So all of this forms part of feeling empowered. Feeling empowered is one thing, and taking that power to another level is another thing, right? Moving on. If you really ask me, what is the biggest challenge in IT industry? That would be the talent scarcity, all right? Very, very high demand and very low supply. You will be very surprised. There are several engineering institutions, even under the VTU, you have hundreds of engineering institutions. And it will be very surprising for all of you to hear that is talent scarcity still a problem, right? What I would say is, it is an understatement, to be very frank. We can talk about skills, on a daily basis, we hire hordes and hordes of Java experts. And the new age skills like cloud or, artificial intelligence and machine learning, analytics, big data, you name it, robotics, robotics process, and cutting edge technology and very new technology that is coming in on a daily basis, right? So earlier on, I remember around a decade back, when we used to hire technical or a technology based skill, and primarily we used to hire engineers because of that, okay? Now, say for example a mainframe, so we used to hire in thousands, right? Mainframe skills, quite a lot of people were hired, especially in that particular skill, especially when Y2K hit and year 2000 and all of that was happening. And if you ask me what has changed, now we've come a very long way from that. The domain knowledge is becoming very, very relevant now. So you'll not believe it, in our company itself, we've hired doctors, right? And we are having doctors and pharmacists entering IT industry. Then we have combination, all sorts of combination skill sets, right? So what has made the talent supply even more complex is that it is not enough that an individual is equipped with one skill or two skills. There is something called full stack developer. So it can be a Java full stack developer or a .NET full stack developer. Basically, it just means that end-to-end understanding of how that particular programming language works, right? And whether the an individual understands that in the context that business presents. Say, for example, if it is investment banking, it's not enough that the individual who is applying for the job is equipped with the knowledge of the technology that is required for that particular software development. It's important that the person understands the business behind it in investment banking in this case, right? Say, for example, banking or insurance for that matter, right? Very, very specialized skills like actuarial or, very investment brokers. So many different types of skills that are required from a domain perspective now, right? So what you're studying in your engineering college is one thing, right? It's definitely very, very crucial. In fact, I would like to state a very important story here, wherein I'm still audible, right? Everybody is able to hear me, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So, one very important incident that comes to my mind is we do these weekly inductions, right? I mean, when before pandemic, we used to have these inductions where orientations where the lateral hires, not the freshers who are coming in from colleges, but people whom we hire with experience from the market, right? Those people join, and one of the individuals, he said something which stayed in my mind for a long time, and this is one thing that I tell a lot of students and a lot of faculty members. What he said was, you know what, my dream company is TCS. But it took 10 years of my work experience for me to get into TCS. If I had used my student years properly, I would have gotten into TCS 10 years back during campus placements, because TCS visited our campus and took students, but not me, because I did not qualify, because I did not utilize my time properly, right? So here, I wanted to put in a very gentle reminder. What you have done till now has brought you till here, and what you are going to be doing from now on will decide what you will be in future, right? And that's not only for you, it's for me, it's for Dr. Binoy, it's for Dr. Pankaj, it's for Dr. Hema Patil, and Dr. Tanuja. So I'm just saying that all these activities that you are doing, it's important that you're consciously playing an active role in making your life move in the direction that you want to, right? And that, I feel, is empowerment. So you feel that, yes, I need to reach somewhere. And if so, what are the things that I need to do? Now, you are in such a beautiful position. You are learning engineering and you are in the engineering field, and probably the most eligible to get into the IT industry, right? And for that matter, any other industry, because I think IT touches every industry, and you really can say that it's kind of becoming a foundational skill, right? Now, when you move forward, what's most important is to identify that you're already on your path to your dream, right? And to understand that what you do in the student years is extremely crucial to set a foundation for you when you go forward. How we will do that is something that we will go through when I move forward, all right? What we will do is I will take you through the very short presentation that I have, okay? And then we will open up the forum for questions, because that's where a lot of discussions will happen. And I'm sure you will have some questions. All right, moving on. A little bit about the women aspect that I did mention a little earlier. This is probably the only slide that I will talk about and stress about women, right? But I think some of the aspects are applicable to men as well. So please don't feel left alone, right? Some statistics for you to understand, right? Women-owned businesses have grown by 74% over the last 20 years, which means, yes, several women are feeling empowered. Several women have started coming out of their zones. I wouldn't call that comfort zones. They will actually come out of whatever zones where they're as part of their societal obligations. Only 11% of women are creative directors in advertising industry. I personally have the privilege of having known some very exceptional women who've been in the media, and they have been, they rise to the top as well. But do I see a lot of them doing all of that all the time? No. There are certain things which are preventing people from taking that step into moving up in the ladder, right? We'll explore that a little bit. Now, McKinsey has come out with a very, very interesting report saying that diverse teams bring in better productivity. Now, this is a very, very known thing. If you really look at it, you're all, imagine all of you are forming up two teams, and one team is probably exclusively formed of one particular gender, whether it's male or female, and the other team with probably male and female combination, right? Who do you think? I mean, it's not anybody's guess that, there is a higher likelihood, okay, I would say there's a higher likelihood of the gender mixed team to come up with more creative ideas, right? Because the background from which each of us are coming in is very, very totally different. And when the genders are different, it's even more different. And therefore, the kind of idea flow that can happen, in fact, our own leaders in TCS also have seen a lot of them talk about how diversity has really helped them improve their productivity, right? Why am I saying all of this? Because collectively, collaboratively, we are able to do what we can. Sometimes we will need complementary skills, right? So you may be bringing a special skill onto the table, but somebody else will have a very, very complementary skill. Say for example, if you are extremely good at, very small example, right? You are extremely good at algorithms, mathematics, or whatever that is, and somebody else is, extremely good at making a social media or marketing campaign. Right. So when you really want to mix both these skills and utilize that for an advertising, of course you will have to look at market trends and all of that, right? So the algorithm skills and the trend analysis skills and business analysis skills will come in handy, as well as the marketing skill will come handy, right? A combination of skills of sorts, right? So this is where you need to understand where you specialize in and go ahead pursuing that particular specialization, knowing that in the context of the environment that you are in. Say, for example, if you are entering an advertising agency, or if you're going into an IT industry, you're joining an IT company, or you're going into a startup, IT startup, you're being an entrepreneur, a bunch of friends get together and you're becoming a startup. Nowadays, it's the era of startups, right? If you really have to move up the value chain, and offer what you really have set apart to do, you already have a purpose. It's important that you leverage each one's strengths. So here is where I would request each and every one of you to look at what your strengths are. Each of us, somebody has said actually, as I've heard, and I think it is very, very true, that every child is born a genius. It's about how we really bring up our faculties inside our brain and how much we put to use that makes us and sustains us as a genius, or probably, falling out of the line kind of scenario, right? So here what I really want to mention is be aware of your strengths, and if you are that you're going to be adding value, it's important to speak up, right? And it's important to make that one step forward, that one initiative forward to say that it's important to voice your opinion to say that this is the way we can improve a particular product. So earlier on, when back in 2000s, right, at that time, we used to have clients coming and saying, you know what, the Indians, the culture has it that we don't say no much, right? We always want to say yes, sir. But over a period of time, that has changed. Now you will see extremely smart young individuals who actually say, you know what, there is a better way to do this. So speak up, right? But speak with data. It's not enough that you say something, but it's important to know what you're about to say and if it is going to add value to the objective at hand, right? So when you're going into a job or when you're going into a corporation, it's not about you as an individual. It'll be you as the role that you're playing as against the objective, or rather in alignment to the objective that the organization is bringing for you, right? So here is where reevaluating strengths become extremely useful tool for yourself, right? Women are not known to be great negotiators. So why is it that a man is able to negotiate better in terms of salaries than a woman? It's a little bit of an enigma there, but it's not very far from our Indian culture too, right? Traditionally, we've been brought up to say that, don't be bossy, don't be sharp. It's better to be a little, take a back seat at all of this and do as you're told, etc. Traditionally, I'm talking about 20 years back. Now the scenario is totally different. Young girls now are quite capable, and they are really coming up forward with their thoughts and process, which is very, very encouraging. But of course, I brought out this point because this is still very, very interestingly, this is still a trend that we are seeing across the world, right? Now, when it comes to a very, very crucial strength, okay, of any individual, whether it is a man or a woman, one of the highest sought after skill will be emotional intelligence. I think you all know what an emotional intelligent person is, right? So, imagine a situation where you are receiving an email from somebody and you bought a product from a online retailer, and then you are reporting a complaint about the product, and the retailer comes back and says, you know what, it's a product that was shipped properly but did not reach you properly. It has gotten destroyed or rather broken during transit, so we cannot do anything about it. So you get very, very irritated. Any consumer or any customer will feel very irritated. But how do you really go ahead and handle it? One of my very good friends, what she did was she just thought about it. Okay, maybe they have a point, but let me see what I can do about it. So she did not, go ahead and start writing another big, long, lengthy mail saying that, this is what I went through and you need to give me a replacement. What she went ahead and did was to talk to the manager of that, one of the managers that she was able to reach out to. Because now everything is very, very, helplines are available and help desk is there. You can reach out, right? And then she spoke, saying that, this is what has happened and it's not my fault that I've got a faulty product. Net, after some negotiation, there was, a good result and a new product was sent across to them, right? So, if she had also emotionally reacted to that email, the result could have been very, very different. But instead, she chose to reason it out with the concerned in charge and say that, probably we'll work it out and this is a genuine issue that I'm facing, right? So I'm not saying that every time you will get the same result, but there's no harm in trying. And being an emotionally stable person is also a very, very important hallmark of a great leader, right? So Isaac Newton, this is a famous story, I'll never ever forget. 8th standard I studied the story when I was doing my English course, and it starts with this, right? Isaac Newton's whole around 20 years of work was sitting in piles of paper, and suddenly his pet dog, comes in and he topples the candle. At that time, it was candles, right? He topples the candle, and the whole set of pile of papers catch fire, and it's destroyed, right? You can imagine any other person in that position, how they will react to it. It's 20 years of hard work. So many midnight oils, so much of midnight oil burnt, and so much of effort that has gone in. It's extremely saddening, right? But what Isaac Newton went on to say was something that I will never forget in my life. That is, thou does not know what thou hast done, as you do not know what you have done. And he petted the pet dog, and he let it be. And he went on to continue his work, right? So that is a different level, okay? What I'm trying to say here is emotional maturity can be achieved. All you have to do is to start thinking from the other person's perspective, being, aware of oneself, and being open to new ideas. Sometimes I've seen these conversations that have happened between two individuals where each person is just trying to convey his or her point without actually listening to what happens. Now, there is a reason why I'm telling all of this, okay? Because you will be facing something called the interview, right? When you apply for a job, there is something called interview. So listening and addressing the question at hand is very, very crucial. I have personally rejected candidates who have not listened to the questions properly because they would probably beat around the bush so much that the actual required answer doesn't come in, right? And then that kind of reflects on how the person will actually do on the job, right? See, this interview has a meaning. It's just not about cracking the interview. It's about the perception you create on how your answers reflect on how you will actually deliver on the job, right? So that is the reason why I'm bringing about the strengths part of it, and emotional intelligence becomes an extremely crucial aspect, right? Conflict management. Dr. Vinay already spoke about the adaptive and the resilience part of it, how to face failures. In fact, I want to take a little story. In fact, Mr. Bhaskara, who was the earlier Commissioner of Police for Bangalore, he said in one of the meetings that I was part of, he said, you know what, all of you leaders need to learn how to fail first. And this is so important now. I see that probably a Generation X like me, we used to be a little more okay failing in games or failing in exams or failing in whatever that we did at that point in time, right? Because that's how we learned and that's how we were ironing out ourselves. And there's a lot of resilience in us, I felt. Whereas the current generation, what I feel is that the urge to win all the time. I wouldn't blame the generation because there is a lot of hyper competition, hyper connectivity. Yet everybody gets to know what everybody else is doing. If somebody is already achieving a great career offer, the pressure builds on the peers, and then the peers will want to get the same kind of job. In all of this, what gets forgotten? It's your individual strength, right? So Mullah Nasruddin's story is also very, very famous. He finds a falcon in his royal garden, and he goes and clips its, the claws, the wings, and beak, and says, "Yes, now you look more like a pigeon." So what happened in the process? He converted a falcon into something other than pigeon, maybe. And all of the strengths that the falcon has is completely taken away. And it's neither a falcon nor a pigeon or of use to anybody, right? So when you are a falcon and if somebody else is a pigeon or somebody else is a sparrow, each category of birds, each category of individuals, or each individual brings in his or her own specific strength onto the table. So that is something that you need to re-evaluate. So it doesn't take too much time. You just get a pen and a paper, try writing what you're good at, right? And try to see whether And even there are umpteen number of counselors available nowadays to go ahead and talk to, and they will help you with their all very evolved tools to identify what your strengths are. Work towards it, right? And then keep reading. Dr. Vinay spoke about newspapers. There's so much of data available on the net. How much of time are you really spending? And sometimes I really feel, when you learn, I still learn. I'm still pursuing certifications, right? So it's such a joy, right? Just to understand that there's something more to it. There's something more that I can achieve, maybe with my additional knowledge, right? So the thirst for knowledge is something which is fundamental, right? And here's where I would really want to keep a pause. I know you will have plenty of questions. I really urge you to take note of the points that you feel is value adding so that you can ask me questions, and I'm moving on. And when I said empower yourself, it's all, to do with building credibility as well, right? So I have written the words build credibility as the first two sets of words. I'll tell you why. Because there is nothing that can bring you down like a promise not met. Okay? You promise something, and if you don't meet that promise, there goes your credibility. And how do you really build your credibility? You own up the task. And I call it the extreme ownership. If I know that I'm in charge of something, I'll go on out to ensure that that particular function is taken care completely end to end. Right? That is one. So I'm not talking about myself here. I means all of us. So the idea is we need to be constantly in that direction. If you receive an email, make sure that you're responding to that email. Don't leave it unattended, and don't be lazy. Do not. I would say postponing is fine as long as you have something prioritized, so that by the end of the day, at least you are completing that task, right? So as you grow up in your career, you'll also learn how to prioritize. You will know. You will have to see which part of the day will I be completing my personal tasks, which of the day will be that I will be focusing on the professional tasks, right? So these will be some of the things that will be in your mind. And there are certain self-defeating beliefs that are always there. Especially I would think, I don't think I'm good at math. So, but if you really go into depth, it may not be as difficult as you really think. What you believe is probably something that has been there in your mind for a long time, but unless you give an active thought to it, maybe that will still remain, and then that will be always a block for you to move forward, right? And sometimes let go. I'll give you an example from a women's perspective. I'll sometimes come back to the women part of it. There are a lot of things which traditionally women do in life, right? Especially preparing meals for the folks at home, especially if you have in-laws at home, etc. Sometimes there will be situations where the woman is working and there will be long hours that she'll need to put in at work. So if the husband or anybody else in the family is offering that, you concentrate on your work, let me help you. Most often, I have seen women actually come forward and say, I'll do it off. Similarly, like a guy will say, and the woman is offering to the guy, saying that, let me get the groceries for today. And the guy will say, no, don't worry, I will get it. For me, it's more easier than you. What I'm trying to say is sometimes you just let go. Because when you prioritize your tasks, you'll know what to let go. And it's a little more peaceful for all of you to really leverage your ecosystem, because sometimes otherwise you don't get me time, and everybody needs their time to pursue one's hobbies, etc., right? And what do you want to be known for? What is your brand value, right? As in, who are you as brand? How do you build your brand? Now, those are, things which will come in very, very, importantly in your life as you go along, and probably 10 years down the line is when you start realizing, okay, what have I done till now that I have gained, and what am I known for? What are my special skills? So, what will be those skills where people will be, more than happy to take my help in, that would be what you need to look at as your skills. And yes, I don't want to mince with words. What Dr. Binoy spoke about communication, articulation, knowing English, I mean, it's just too important to ignore. Collaboration skills, yes, whatever you're doing in colleges and where you are really working together as teams, all the more important to be working in teams now because of the virtual world scenario. When the lockdown was announced, to be very frank, we were also bewildered as to how we'll carry on business, right? But it was not really difficult. We had a very good setup. The Microsoft Teams platform is a very good, way that we've been able to collaborate seamlessly. And we're able to call each other and set up meetings, have video conferences, have a lot of meetings, and also, decide on whatever it is that we will need to carry forth. And it's full business as usual that is going on right now. But this also requires skills. If you just sit quietly in one of the rooms and say that, this is what I'm going to be doing and this is all I'm capable of, then that's what it will be. So it's important to understand that to collaborate is key, right? And with adversity comes opportunities. I'll give you one example. In Italy, when it was full-blown lockdown, right? When COVID was at its peak in Italy, we had our counterparts in Italy looking down from their windows and seeing only ambulances going back and forth with sirens blaring, right? And it was very pathetic and very sad stories going around the world at that time. And the customers started becoming very anxious about what will happen to the business. And that's when our teams actually stepped up and did something beyond their call of duty, right? Went ahead to do things with full ownership, like I mentioned earlier, to the extent that customers were so delighted. And I'm sure those customers will remain with us for a very, very long time. So we actually earned a lot of customer loyalty by rising up to the essence of why we are here and the purpose of why we are here, right? So every adversity brings an opportunity. That's something we should not forget. I think it was Warren Buffett who said, let's not let an opportunity or rather an adversity go waste, right? So if there is an adversity, find what is it that is there. Say, for example, the garment industry that was completely shattered when the pandemic hit, right? They went ahead and immediately redesigned and said, okay, let us go ahead and make PPE kits, the personal protective equipment, right? So, and then they retained their business, and it was a full use to humankind at that point in time, and even now it continues to be, right? So they're making masks, they're making all sorts of protective equipment so that, people are feeling safe. Learning, unlearning, relearning. In between this pandemic, we also had a chance to go ahead and integrate some teams, etc. You'll not believe the kind of unlearning and the relearning that happened. And at the same time, you have to be productive, right? So these are skills I don't think anybody has, the right to compromise on. It's very, very crucial to go ahead and keep learning. And, many companies, for that matter, especially IT, they utilize technology to have many of the programs, the digital, especially the digital platforms that are being utilized, like Udemy, etc. And why I'm telling this is when you are facing an interview, it's important that you have some hands-on knowledge on what you're talking about. Okay, I'll come to that as well. Now, when you are talking about technology or domain, whatever it is, it's important that you're talking about that in full context, right? So that is where it's very, very crucial to be on the complete learning phase and also to be on a creative learning space. So it's important to learn it or rather imbibe the technology from a very contextual the perspective, right? So if it is a domain of say retail or telecom, you need to understand that technology from a domain perspective. You need to understand technology from how is it being done now and what are the possibilities. So there are a lot of platforms like Swayam, which allows you to practice and really go ahead and take new certifications as you go along, right? agility, speed was extremely important, and we also spoke about resilience a little while earlier. In the interest of time, let me go on to the next slide. We spoke about the interview, right? So we spoke about the challenge. Challenge was only one that I want to talk about, which is talent scarcity, right? We have a very big scarcity for good talent. Okay? Good is underlined there. So are we trying to make ourselves good? The only way to do that is to be thorough about what you're doing, right? And take the opportunity seriously. So if you're appearing for an interview, certain questions that you want to ask yourself: do I know enough about that company? Do I know what they do? Do I know where all they function out of? Do I know the domains they are in? Do I know what I can be good at in that company? Should I talk to somebody? Should I read up about the company? Should I go ahead and read blogs of the people who have been working in that company, right? There are so many things available, right? And what is the kind of profile I'm creating? Is my profile or CV attractive enough for the company to look at it and get interested in, right? So how am I presenting myself uniquely? So nowadays there are a lot of infographics and resume making processes that keep happening. But is it enough that you put it there on the piece of paper? And yes, presentability is great, but what we look as employers is whether you are able to really substantiate what is written on that piece of paper. Okay, so every single word on that profile matters. In-depth knowledge on what is written that you're able to exhibit is something which is very, very crucial, and that would be scrutinized. Hands-on experience, the more the merrier. Certifications which are in addition to what you study in college, more than happy, because the discretionary effort that I've written the last point, it means nothing but the additional effort that you put apart from what you're doing in your college, right? So it's not about just going through college. It's about really putting in your mind and soul into what you really want to achieve, and then channelizing your thought processes and action to that purpose. I'll give you a very famous example of what our CTO said once. He said, I also joined as a normal engineer, and he's an IIT product, and he went ahead and he was also in projects. He was chasing whatever the customers were giving deadlines, schedules, etc. He was working with his team, and all of them working together. Great fun environment, and work kept going on. But in his mind, he was always very passionate about technology. So he kept utilizing his spare time to, keeping abreast of whatever is happening in technology, what's happening new, and also kept on learning. Right? Thank you. I think somebody's unmuted. All right. Can I request everybody to go on?
Ms. Sukanya, please you could mute your mic, please. Ms. Sukanya, thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pankjashi. Thank you. So, when I speak about the CTO incident, he kept technology in his mind, and he kept his passion alive, and he utilized his spare time. And I can tell you, people, whoever is listening, if you are into a specific hobby, and to pursue that hobby is simply beautiful, right? I mean, somebody is a footballer, and for you, that time that is spent with the football is so important, right? Similarly, whatever it is that your passion is, take time to do that, right? Especially if it is going to be helping you out to shape your career in a better way, please go ahead and do that, right? And of course, our CTO, he went on to become the first CTO of the company after having been very, very passionate about technology. All right. So once again, I just want to reiterate on this particular slide, take your opportunity very, very seriously. The opportunity that you have as what you're studying right now, the opportunity that you have in terms of interacting with all your faculty members who are experienced, who are also knowledgeable, who know so much and probably can help you with leading you to think differently, right? enabling you to look at different sources for different information. And if they are not, they will facilitate that for you, right? They are there for you to help say that, okay, fine, this is a particular technology which is very, very new. Let's bring a subject matter expert from the industry and then make it available for you. But for that, you also need to, it takes two to tango, right? So you also need to take that interest, you also need to take that ownership. So opportunity in the current context in terms of what you're studying and what you're really pursuing. Opportunity in terms of the jobs that you're going to be pursuing. What is the domain that you really want to do? Opportunity in terms of the value that you're going to be adding to wherever that you're going to be joining, or you're starting a startup, or if you're an entrepreneur, etc. Right? So opportunities are plenty. If you really think about it, if you really give it a little conscious thought, you will know and you'll be able to identify that. Right? It's you don't need to probably go to anybody else. You just have to look at yourself and you'll get it. Right? So this is where I would like to take a pause and invite questions because I think I've gone on a monologue for almost 45 minutes. I think this is a great point for us to go ahead and go in a dialogue mode.
Thank you, Anjana ma'am, for the presentation, highlighting on certain things, what strength as an individual, whether it is, let it be a male or a female, one need to focus on how to encash the opportunity. It is well said by one of the person that if you don't find an opportunity, build a door where you can invite an opportunity into it. So in that way, and also you had highlighted about where each person is unique by himself and each person has the capacity and capability to encash the available opportunity. Only thing, the right time and the right place, and to whatever the talent individual has to should be showcased so that things can be made better use of. There are a couple of questions, ma'am, in the chat box. Thank you for accepting our invitation, and it was really good to hear from you. I know that you had a very busy schedule since morning. You were on back calls.
But this time is for you, so please feel free.
Thank you, madam. Somebody has put across in the chat box, you too. Is it right to quit the job when your boss speaks rudely to employee? Doesn't motivate you? Only uses harsh words. Do we think it is better to quit or find a new job?
Dr. Binoy, Matthew, I think he is unmuted and he's come immediately on the screen, so I will let him speak about it. You want to say something, Doctor?
You are the right person. But still, I would like to attempt.
Sure.
See, there is a reason for everything. If the boss is angry, there may be some reason. First thing what we can do is, we should be able to identify, or at least should be able to dig through what is going wrong from my side. And sometimes it happens that some leaders are too rude to the employees without any reason. So that means, if that is the case, if you are able to identify that it is not my fault, it is the fault with the leader, then it is better to neglect it. It is better to avoid it. Better not to give much importance to that. So slowly he will realize it. He will change. So these are the options. So that's what.
Being with the objective, yes, that's what I would also say. Just be with the objective. So think of what is it that we are really trying to achieve. So somebody's personal behavior cannot be taken for your dissatisfaction, right? So it is very crucial to be with the objective.
Yes.
Thank you, sir, what you told thing. But the same person asked, if the boss doesn't motivate the employee, what is the next outcome?
Motivation is within you. Motivation is within you. Nobody else can motivate you. First, you should motivate yourself. What is your objective and what you are supposed to do it. Leave the rest to God. And you cannot take motivation always from the leader. Some leaders may be good in motivating the employees, but some may not be. So we should always better to have self-motivation.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how I would also say, because there is only a certain extent to which the external environment can actually impact you. You might be very surprised to hear this, but what happens is actually motivating you to do many things and making you do many things, and that will come only with experience. But that's okay. It's important to realize that and give that allowance to other people, and being open to others will help you be a little more easy on yourself. Sometimes what happens is in the whole process, you don't forgive yourself also. And you don't need to draw that balance in which you're able to find a good balance between, giving into the whole, negative environment and also what's really happening. Try to find that balance. Try to see what is it that is actually happening, and then see if you are able to, make it a better place for yourself. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. One of the participants has posted, maybe they are living in my chat box in WhatsApp, some new ideas for women empowerment. They've asked about certain new ideas promoting women empowerment, madam.
Okay.
So, they're asking for highlights from your end, sir and madam.
Okay, so there's so much happening. I mean, women are doing so well. Just open the browser and see new business ventures by women, and you will find amazing creativity happening, right? So, in the same apartment complex that that I am in, we have very entrepreneurial women who are actually coming out and saying, you know what, you guys sit and work the whole day, we could food for you, right? So, actually, lot of noise. Right?
There is some disturbance, madam, in your voice. Yeah, somebody is posed a question.
See, first of all, I would like to add to Anjana. Who said women are not empowered? That's the first question we should answer. Women are empowered. Don't think that, no, see, that is the problem. The problem is with the mindset. As and when you feel that you are not empowered, you are not getting opportunities, you are not allowed. You are not allowed to do something, you are not capable of doing something, and a lot of competition will be there, objections will be there. As and when you start thinking, that will be there. Otherwise, if you feel that you are empowered and you start doing, then all obstacles will go off.
So the whole point is how much of elements have you given yourself to think through something. Are you thinking through that? That's a very important question to ask. If you are faced with a challenge, are you trying to treat that as a huge challenge, or are you breaking that into small parts which you can actually act on? So when we have strategies going on, right, what we do is we don't attack the huge problem as a mountain, right? We break it down into simple parts and then see what can be converted to action plans. Similarly, say for example, if you want to achieve something, what are those things that you need to do? List it down and slowly but steadily progress on them. And before you know it, you're already different from the rest of the crowd, and then you are going to be making history. You will not realize it, but that's how it happens.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Somebody has asked, accountability at work, what are the metrics?
I told you about the say-do ratio. That is one, definitely. What you say, what you promise, you deliver, definitely. Accountability is, whether you are doing it or if your team members are doing it, ultimately you are questionable and you're accountable for that outcome, right? So being accountable just means that you're owning up the outcome and you're owning up the results that will come. So the result itself will be a great metric.
Thank you, ma'am. Somebody, Lakshmi Priya. If subordinates are criticized for their work by the boss, how to get self-motivated?
You imagine yourself being a boss and then how you say sometimes you're finding fault with somebody. I think you will get the answers. But I think for this person, whoever is asked, I can have a personal conversation. I can help the person. I'm sure. Because it's not, again I said, no, I think Dr. Binoy and I were saying earlier also, be the objective. If you feel that yes, you have contributed to something which has happened wrong there, admit it. Say that, okay, I think there's something wrong. It could have been done better. But if you're confident that you have done whatever best you can, go ahead and say that, this is what it is. And this, keep the tone, everything balanced so that you are not in the fighting mode, but you are in more of a collaborative mode. You, like your boss, also wants the result, right?
Yeah, Sir Binoy sir, this is something to your previous words told. Leadership roles are not given easily in India for women employees because of male-dominant world. How to break this barrier?
That is what I already answered. It's all because of the mindset. As long as you think that the male are dominant in this, of course, it's a fact. As you know, see, if I tell the fact, sometimes you may not agree with me, and you may, some people may become angry on me. It's a fact that Indian culture is male dominant, and we have done so much to change that. And as you know that, culture is developed over a longer period of time, and nobody, even a person or a group of people, cannot change the culture overnight. It is not possible, because as the culture developed over a longer period of time, in the same way, to make changes in the culture, that also takes longer period of time. So we all are in the struggle to get equality. Maybe it may take some more time. That's all I can say, because it is part of the culture. So if you are willing to break that, then you are the winner.
Absolutely. So, sir, you said it rightly. In fact, if you ask me whether I consider my male counterparts as competition to me, because they are a guy, I don't think that would be my answer. If there is competition, I think it should be on merit and nothing else. That's what I would say. And that's what I said, right? The self-defeating beliefs. If we feel and if we believe that you will not be able to see, you see the number of women pilots now. That was not something that was possible earlier. There are so many women pilots. And I think very recently I read an article, Air India flew, I think, a transatlantic flight. I think it was the longest route taken by a complete women crew. Very recently I read an article. So it is all possible. Then I remember going through one of the events where two women steered a ship through the ocean. I think they had a complete navigation map, route, etc. drawn out, and they did it within some 6 months they took to reach whatever destinations. But they navigated through the rough seas all alone, as in just the two of them. So typically those are male dominated, right? But it's just in the mind, how you really are you confident enough to? Of course, I'm not asking that we should be foolish enough to think that let me also go and do that ship navigation in the seas, but we need to know what we are good at and then go ahead and navigate accordingly.
Thank you, ma'am. That was kind of you. There are some couple of other questions. Required skills one need to develop in order to get you into an IT company. Technical and non-technical skills.
See, I think I mentioned quite a lot about it already during the presentation. I think more than anything else, whatever that it is that you're studying, go in depth and understand or learn to understand, and ask to understand. Yeah.
If you want more specifically point-wise, with respect to soft skills, communication, adaptability skills, creative thinking, dependability, work ethics, teamwork, positivity, time management, motivation, problem solving, critical thinking, conflict resolution, all these we can point out, with respect to soft skills, and of course, emotional intelligence is very, very important to be employable.
Thank you, sir. There are a couple of other questions. If any of the participant, instead of me reading, if any of the participant is willing, can unmute the mic and ask the questions, or I will share your questions on your behalf.
Hello, madam.
Yes, yes.
Presentation was very nice, madam. It was very mind-blowing, and trying to know what is the exact requirement of the IT sector for any person to get employed, and what are the requirements in the IT sector. Madam, one question from my side is, what are the milestones the government is looking at to increase the employability of the women? And any other schemes?
I am not the authority to speak about it, to be very frank. However, there are quite a lot of... Sorry?
And also, what are the industry role in supporting that Make in India concept?
Right. So I think, whatever that we are doing and the kind of, say for example, IT itself, right? If you've seen it in the last few decades, from 1980s onwards, okay, till now, so almost 4 decades, we have come far, right? Very, very far-reaching, conquest that we have done as a country. So I think there are a lot of initiatives in the science and technology field which are being initiated by the government to enable education for socially and economically backward or underprivileged, and for women in particular, and girls, young girls in particular. There are several schemes to allow education, and I have seen live examples of children of very low, income backgrounds coming up and topping the IAS and the different competitive exams that are coming up from the government, right? So, IAS, nothing should really stop us. So, if you really look around, there are a lot of opportunities. Now, even the education institutions also, all of you have started adapting. The way you have adapted to the pandemic, for that matter, is beautiful. You didn't also sit quiet, right? You didn't also say, oh shucks, I'm not able to go to the college. How will I run the college? You immediately started the online education, and it made it beautiful. And you made the parents' lives easier, you made the students' lives easier, everything, right? And you're taking care of the students. So, idea is, if there is something that we are able to do in a given circumstance, go ahead and do it. There are umpteen number of schemes. I may not be the authority to speak about it, but the STEM initiatives, the science technology initiatives, the mathematics, the education field itself is getting a lot of boost as I speak. Maybe Dr. Binoy, I think you are better off in adding on this. Yeah.
There are so many schemes. For example, STEP is there. STEP that is to support the training and employment program for women. Then even Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana, working women hostel. Then Mahila Shakti Kendra. Of course, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao Yojana. Like that, many schemes the government has introduced, and even there are schemes for SC/ST students. Now this free laptops given to the students, free reimbursement is given to the students for higher education. So like that, many schemes government has introduced. Only thing is we should make use of it effectively.
A lot of entrepreneurial also, so like a lot of women entrepreneurs are being encouraged a lot, right?
Yes, the schemes are there, loan schemes are there, without interest schemes are there, subsidized loan facilities is there from central government. Yes. Is there.
Right.
And various training programs are running for women entrepreneurs.
Correct. A lot of training programs specifically in that
Even I
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, I have one question.
Yes,
Hello?
Asha. Yes, Asha. I think Asha is right.
Ma'am, is there any grants for presenting paper in abroad for women empowerment? As a scientist, researcher, or something like that?
I think
International
ask the question to you.
Yeah, madam. Asha, madam, there are many.
Okay. Can you...
AICT, UGC, every time they call for.
To present paper in abroad, ma'am? Okay. Thank you.
ACT, madam. You can just look
AICT schemes are available.
AICT schemes are there, IEEE schemes are there, Institute of Engineers provide financial assistance. There are so many. You can Google it, you will get it.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Actually, every question that you're asking, you Google it and get it.
Okay.
There's so much of information there. Yes.
Okay.
I think people are done with asking questions, looks like.
Pankaj?
Internet technical problem I had. I got disconnected. Sorry.
We're only chit-chatting.
There is a couple of other questions. Somebody has asked innovative entrepreneurial skills or startup opportunities for women and procedures to be taken up.
We will have another webinar for that.
Yeah. I think you will have to focus on that. I think a lot of questions coming on that aspect. Maybe you will want to look at having a separate session on that.
I hope the participant got the things. Sir, Binoy sir, this may be related to you.
Yeah, please.
Sorry. How to overcome gender-biased challenges and insecurities in family and society? You were, a counselor for gender bias also. At some time you have taken up this task. Ma'am, to you also for your inputs.
Yeah, see, that I already answered. It is there where it is as a part of the culture. And this gender bias happens because of the ego by somebody. Maybe because the husband has sort of ego, and that ego, because of that ego, husband always wants to be dominant. So this is happening everywhere. See in the house also, see in the family it is happening. So that can be, that we can overcome over a period of time. Only thing is, see, the women should have the courage and they should come up. Or some cases, certainly, to lead a happy life, you may have to adjust. So life is all about adjustment. Sometimes we will have to adjust. There is no other way out. If you see, we say if you take a stick, slowly if you bend, it won't break. But if you bend too much, it breaks. So don't go to that level of breaking it. That's all I can say. So, and sometimes we feel that there is gender discrimination, all these discriminations are there in the society. Sometimes we feel because of our ego. So that is the reason why I said, at least for some time, keep our ego in the refrigerator. Let it freeze.
In fact, I say, sir, throw it out of the window. Any relationship, whether it is a marriage or a friendship or anything. Okay, your own relatives, right? Ego plays a very, very crucial role. I think that's bang on what sir mentioned, because if there is anything that can harm somebody's relationship, it can only be ego, nothing else. And if, of course, keeping self-respect in mind, if you feel that the other person is really taking the bias to a different level, then you better to stay away from that toxicity. There is no point in being part of it and then getting hurt in the process, right? So, but remember and look at yourself in the mirror before questioning another. Well, Dr. Tanaja, we can't hear you.
Thank you, madam, for the inputs. As you say, it all depends on the mindset, how we accept and see things. So, positive thought and the positive mindset can take things forward. Ma'am, I have a question or a thing. Due to COVID-19, we have seen lots of IT people work from home. So, what are the chances for management professionals to get opportunity into IT sector? Because most of the time now it is work from home concept, where we as a management professionals can fit in, or how can we get an opportunity?
I am from management. So what I'm saying is, nothing really prevents us. The world is going on the usual pace. movie theaters are not able to function, it doesn't mean that people are movies. Everybody is watching movies, right? Same way, no profession has taken a hit except for probably very few small scale industries or probably the roadside vendors. In fact, roadside vendors are completely full on right now. I can see that. Whichever industry has been hit by the pandemic, they're slowly coming back. Okay, that is also something that we are observing. And one thing which we have to remember is that nothing has really stopped. We are still hiring. So even if I take it from my company perspective, all we are doing is we are not doing any in-person interviews. We are doing video interviews. We are connecting, even for onboarding, we are doing video through virtual means. If we have to do background verifications, we have utilized technology to the extent that we can utilize, we can actually find the location, etc., and understand if the person is actually staying where the person is staying, etc., as well as utilizing technology to the extent that your work is monitored wherever you are. So if I have a laptop and I am hooked on to my network, right, office network, the company will always know what I'm doing. That's the way it is. Because you are dedicated to that commitment, and technology has advanced to such level that if you're downloading a software, say for example, which is not supposed to be downloaded, company will know. So I think utilizing technology, our world has moved on as usual. If you ask me, the workload has increased, not decreased.
Is it so, ma'am? Thank you, ma'am, for your inputs. I think this is a bit personal, but still somebody has asked for a suggestion. If a person wants to leave a job due to a kind of behavior she's received in office, how to convey this to the family? It looks more personal, but I thought I'll just try to. Maybe she needs a solution from our end.
I think, you see, your family is your family, right? And they brought you up. They'll understand. Try telling them.
And if it is not possible, it is always better to keep bitter truth, if possible. If she is sure that a counterpart won't accept it, if it is clear, then it is better to keep the bitter truth. It is always better to share, but that will have an adverse effect if she is clear. Better to keep.
Madam, I have a question.
Okay, Dr. Ramesh, yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello? Madam, am I audible?
Yes, Ramesh, sir, you are audible, sir. Please go on, sir.
Yes, madam. Madam, very good information you have provided. I have one doubt. How the rural women can break the class ceiling limit, madam? Even though available various schemes and facilities, but the rural women have a hesitation to come forward. How do you break the ceiling limit?
Yeah, so I think the ecosystem and the enablement that we are able to provide them is very crucial, because as against an urban setup, rural setup will be totally different. They are having a lot of belief system which will be very self-defeating, and sometimes to even encourage the woman to come out of that mindset is very, very tough. So education, awareness creation, campaigns, these are all very, very crucial, and there are a lot of social work organizations that are engaged in this, who specifically go and educate the women, because they need to be handled separately, Dr. Ramesh, not like a regular, urban area like how we face. That's not the way. Probably a villager will need to be addressed, because their entire mental setup is very different. We'll have to take cognizance of that. First, tell them what it is. What is the benefit they have if they go ahead with it, and what is it that they can stand to gain or progress in their lives because of it. They need to know. There are several schemes. I know, I come from Kerala and I remember there was a scheme called Kudumbashri, I think. It's a very, very famous one, right, Dr. Vinay? That they encourage them to go ahead, and work, and from a farmer perspective, right? And there's a lot of women who are coming out in this, but idea is they should understand, and they should be made to understand.
Yeah, I think the schools in the village schools can do a lot of things, especially the teachers from the village schools and colleges. It is always advisable for the college or schools to adopt the village and enter into the village and kind of spreading the awareness first to the parents, because children may be ready, but the parents may not have the economic capacity to send the children, or they may have a kind of notion that especially girls in the villages, they may be thinking that there is no point in sending them to the school. Such kind of beliefs are there. So local schools, the school teachers, as we give internship to the students, I think for the teachers also such kind of assignments can be given, maybe weekly once at least, going to the one day off can be given, maybe Saturdays, no school, the teacher can go to the village and do this kind of awareness program. Even the village panchayat also, instead of not only looking for the infrastructural development of the village, they also has a duty to see the education level of the villagers. So the village panchayat people, each member can contribute for this. That is what I think some of the school teachers are doing. They are visiting each house, individual houses, and searching for the children at the age of 5 or 6, and bringing them, convincing the parents and bringing them to the school. So these are the things, actions should happen from the panchayat, anybody for that matter. Maybe NGOs can look into do this work. So some actions should happen. Then only this situation will improve.
Yeah. A lot of consolidated action.
Thank you, sir, for the input given. Ramesh, sir, I do understand in rural area there's lots of challenges, and yes, we have a Department of Management Studies at Budinadli. Lots of girl students are there who are eager to study, but they face lots of challenges. I hope this webinar will also help them to come out of their nutshell. Yes, ma'am.
Online medium has provided more opportunities, actually.
Thank you, ma'am. There are a couple of thank you messages and lots of appreciation messages are there, ma'am, the chat box. And it's been live in the YouTube, it is going on live. And there are around 826 participants have registered for this program. Thank you, and all the issues we may not be in a position to address. As you are told, at 4:30 you had another appointment meeting to be engaged. With the permission of the chair, maybe there's one last question, I'll take it. One of the participants has asked if he wants to move from academic field to IT field, how to get into it?
See, again, hands-on experience is most important. I think Dr. Binay also can add on, because going from an academic to industry is very good, because flavor of industry also will come to the person, and then it's a totally different perspective altogether. But hands-on experience cannot be replaced. So it's important to get into understanding what it is all about, what technology he or she wants to get into, and then getting enrolled into trainings on all of that, and trying to see if there is a job possible. I mean, it's a normal things that they can do. But the idea is really you want to make up your mind when you are shifting your industry. Talk to people who are already in the industry to understand what it is like to work in that, so that it is not as if grass is always greener on the other side, right?
Yes. I also wanted to ask the same question to the person who asked this question, is it because of finding a lot of greenery the other side, want to change?
Correct. So it is always like that. So sometimes when students ask us, oh, okay, HR, and for them it's like, oh, okay, great, glamorous job or whatever. But that's not the case when you really get into the crux of the job. It's tons of hard work, lot of work.
Yes, ma'am, that's true. Nothing comes free of cost. Everything, hard work leads to success at the end of the day. That's what it means all about. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your experiences, some sight about women employability in IT sector. And thank you, Vinay sir, for telling how to live our life to the fullest. As a human being, you should enjoy your life. Whatever good and bad keeps coming and going, but as a person, we need to be ourselves and we need to take things lively and positively. Thank you, Anjana ma'am, for giving us some food for thought also, and plus sharing certain views on employability skills for women. And I think there are lots of other questions also there. But with the permission of the chair, I would maybe they can write to us personally to you or email, and we can get a clarification later on. And also it says that according to the World Bank report 2018, it says that the labor workforce participation rate among women in India are 26.97 as of 2018, but the world average is 48.47. So it is 2018, but in 2019 it is much better off. So we have still a long way to go. This is not the end. So there are lots of ample opportunities, and as a woman, we need to first back our tap so that we can do multiple things much better off. May I invite Dr. Shanta Porapur to give the oath of thanks. She is Assistant Professor from Department of MBA, VTU, Belagavi.
Thank you, madam.
Dr. Shanta Porapur, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, madam. Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, madam. Yes, please.
Okay. This is very nice evening. This is a time to give vote of thanks to who have made this webinar successful. I am Dr. Shanta Porapur. First of all, my sincere thanks to all success. By this and I also propose my sincere thanks to our beloved Vice Chancellor, Dr. Karsidappa sir, and also Register sir, who have supported us to conduct this webinar. And today's main, the persons, the two speakers here. One is Mrs. Anjana, Head Talent Acquisition for BFSI, TCS, and another one person is Dr. Vinay Matthew, Director, Centralized Placement Cell, VTU. And your thoughts and enlighten our minds and shown us a new path. Thanks to all the speakers. Thank you, madam, and thank you, sir. And I also, and my sincere thanks to Dr. Tanuja, who have supported us to conduct this webinar, and today's program coordinator, Dr. Pankajaksi, and technical assistant Kiran, and also my sincere thanks to Dr. Hema Patil. Thank you one and all, and my sincere thanks to all the participants. Thank you one and all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Hope to see you sometime. Once again, thank you, sir. Thank you, all the authorities.
Thank you, Anjana. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Vinay. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Pankajakshi. Thank you, Dr. Tanuja. Thank you, Dr. Hema. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Have a blessed day.